Welcome back to Face the Nation. I'm John Dickerson. Ohio Governor John Kasich joins us now. Governor, I was talking to two of your supporters in a Super Tuesday state. They'd like to vote for you, but they're worried that as these primaries happen, they should get behind maybe Marco Rubio because they're worried about Donald Trump. Make your pitch to them about why they should stick with you.
Well, first of all, I'm starting to get known in this country for the first time, and a message is being heard. And look, these guys have spent $50 million in the campaign. I've spent about $15 million. And the fact of the matter is a lot of the money they spend has been designed to, hammer me, negative ads against me. We're getting big crowds everywhere we go. I was just in Vermont, a tremendous turnout, Massachusetts. I'm heading to Virginia tomorrow. And we just keep going. And look, we finished second in New Hampshire. I think Marco finished fifth. So we never expected to finish at the top in South Carolina. And I think, frankly, we've exceeded expectations there. The late voters we did very well with, the late deciders. And we're moving on. And we feel good about where we are. And look, all I can tell you is we've risen in the national polls. We're still strong. We've got good grassroots, and everybody just hang on. Things are going to settle down.
Well, but isn't there a sense of urgency? You're getting maybe well known. You're on the rise, but there's also contests that are happening. People are coming in ahead of you. Where do you have to do well and win to still have a shot at this thing?
Well, look, we got to do well in Vermont, in Massachusetts. We think we're going to do well in Virginia. We believe that we will overperform in Mississippi. We think we get to the Midwest, whether it's Illinois or whether it's Michigan. And remember, John, as I heard Bernie Sanders saying, it's proportional. I don't have to win these places. I just have to hang in there and continue to gain momentum. And no one ever expected me to get in the race. They didn't think I would get on the debate stage. I did. They didn't think I'd do well in New Hampshire. I finished second. And so we went to South Carolina, and a short period of time later, 2 weeks ago, people in South Carolina had no clue who I was. So we're the engine that can. Everybody ought to just relax on this. And look, think about it. There were 16 people in the race, including a number of governors, and there's only one left. And I think that at the end, we have to make sure that we have somebody that can go to that town, change that system, grow employment, change the whole way in which it works, and ship power, money, and influence back to the state. So I'm optimistic about it.
One of the other arguments that people who would consider themselves mainstream Republicans are making is that only until there becomes one mainstream alternative to Donald Trump is there any chance for Trump to get knocked off by people whose beliefs they share. So why aren't you just continuing to split the vote with Marco Rubio? Address those concerns.
Well, maybe, but again, I finished second in New Hampshire. He finished fifth. I didn't play in South Carolina, and we're going to go to, on March the 1st, to a number of states where we think we're going to do well. So it's a matter of continuing on, John, and being able to take advantage of the grassroots. We now have some Bush people who have come our way, both from a political point of view and a fundraising point of view, and we're going to keep struggling to make sure that we can be out there, keep putting the resources together to be in a position of doing well. And look, remember this. I'm the person who beats Hillary Clinton by more than any other Republican candidate for president. In the USA Today poll, I beat her by 11 points. And again, I've risen to third place in the national polls out of nowhere without spending really much money. I get the money, continue to put the grassroots together, and you're going to see a great result. So people want to consolidate. They ought to consolidate my way.
Let me ask you a policy question. When we debated or discussed Donald Trump's effort to stop Muslim immigration, you said that's not who we are as a country. In the exit polls in New Hampshire, 65% supported a Muslim immigration ban, and now in South Carolina, 74% supported that policy. Maybe that is who Americans are.
Well, it's not all Americans, but I understand those polls. But as a result of that, that's not going to change my position. I don't think it is even practical, and I don't think it's right. Just because somebody happens to be of the Muslim faith doesn't make them a terrorist or make them a threat to America. And we've had relations with people all over the world of the Muslim faith. And look, nobody wants anybody who's radical, who wants to move in here to be able to gain access. I said we should take a pause on these Syrian migrants, and I believe we should do that. But frankly, to try to create some sort of a religious standard in terms of who can come to America, we're a melting pot. And as long as people have positive and good intent, they ought to be able to come.
All right, Governor John Kasich, thanks so much for being with us. We'll look forward to seeing you down the road.
All right, John, thank you.